This week on RSBANDB Update, Leaks Catalyst is just a few sleeps away and the Theorycrafting has begun. We discuss Relics, our choices, pros and cons, and what may change as we progress through the league. This is RSBANDB Update, episode 1054, recorded Thursday, September 11th, 2025. Buckle up, put a ring on it. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of RSBANDB Update. We're only a few sleeps away now from RuneScape 3's first ever league, the Catalyst League. Tanis, good to have you on the show with us.
Thank you, Shane.
Also here's everybody's second favorite Australian, Pernasius.
G'day.
Here to share some ideas of how to go about this league from down under. And Bears, you are a late addition to this cast because, you messaged me about something else this afternoon and you started talking about ranged on leagues, and I'm like, hey, you want to be on the show? Because nobody's really doing range this league. It sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm hoping it will be. I'm excited to be here. I wasn't really planning on doing leagues until Wednesday of this week. So
about 24 hours ago.
Research now. Yeah, a little bit over, but yeah, I've done my research and I'm excited to be here.
Excellent. Well, of course, this podcast would not be possible without our experienced tier Patreon members, so a big, huge thank you goes out to all of them this week. That is Amos Reed, Bladecom, Dominic R., Jade Gizmo, Jason S., Jesse W., Keski, Lemon Lodge, Luminos, Ricky A., Runestar, Psy Oasis, Snail Mage, The Naked Captain, and Tim. Big, huge thank you to all those people. You'll be hearing more about our Patreon offerings a little bit later. But in the meantime, if you want to follow along, full show notes can be found over at update.show, and you'll want to look at those this week because all of our leagues picks and theory crafting will be, of course, in that doc. But we also do have a friends chatting game that you can find at BitsBytes, and the community Discord is over at update.show/Discord. All right, everybody ready to buckle up and get into some theory crafting for this league?
Let's go.
Okay, so I want to start off with a bit of a brief primer for everybody and say that if you have not played leagues before, I would recommend playing the game a little bit differently than you might normally do. The main purpose of leagues is to unlock as many of the tiers of relics that you can by completing tasks. So, with that, I am of the opinion that your relic choices and what you do in game should largely be centered around completing those tasks, the main purpose of leagues. And because of that, what you might normally think of, how do I, train a skill the best way? Maybe that's what I should go about it. I think the tasks need to come first with that. So, is there any major opposition to that way of looking at leagues here?
Nope.
I won't know.
It's your first go.
It makes sense to me and stuff, but I'll probably, I don't think I'll have that much trouble because there's going to be a lot of tasks that, they're just like, go around, do this, or it'll be skilling involved, right? So yeah, I think there'll be enough it'll be okay.
And that's the thing that makes this league more interesting, and initially I thought it was going to make it less dynamic, is that we have all the regions, so it's not like you're going to be scraping the barrel to find a certain task to hit certain milestones. Because in old school, you are limited to a couple of starting regions, and then you add on 3 regions after that, and then you're kind of consigned to do those tasks. But with a myriad of tasks, leaning into easy and medium, as we talked about last week, you do have the option of kind of rotating around if you're not having a fun time in those areas, choosing those tasks. And that kind of goes into the next thing that I wanted to mention with this. If I say the term skill solve, does that mean anything to anybody?
It didn't till about 20 minutes ago.
Okay. What about you, Perrin and Bears?
Yeah, again, I mean,
Same with Panis.
yeah.
Okay. One of the ways that folks have always looked at choosing relics in leagues is which relics can make certain skills easier to do, either by trivializing them or just reducing the amount of time that you would need to do them. And the classic case with this is the tier 1 set of relics that focuses around, for the first one, archaeology and mining, the second one, divination and woodcutting, and the third one, fishing and hunter, in terms of excavator, divine woodcutter, and animal wrangler, respectively. So those make those gathering skills simpler. Other ones on the list that you might look to is at tier 6 with perfection and invention, or at tier 4 looking into something like production master when it comes to working on your artisan skills. Are there anything in these relic choices that allow you to make those sorts of things simpler? And if you have a certain affinity towards one skill and an affinity not to those skills, that might be something that governs your choice in terms of what you want to pick or what you don't want to pick, if that makes sense. So does defining that make sense now that that's kind of been laid off on the table?
Yeah,
For
no,
me,
it makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, as you said, I mean, there was two I was tossing up between, and because there's a skill that I absolutely love, and it comes with another one that has got some useful things, and then another skill that I don't enjoy that much because it is very lean forward. But when you consider the extra XP and what
Points.
one gives and what's going to be useful and things, while it makes you lean towards one more than the other. So, some are just outright, yep, that's the one, no issues whatsoever. But yeah, the first couple, there are a few that are sort of, I could go either way, and yeah.
Well, and I think an important thing with the skill solves, on one hand, I mean, if you're trying to, I wonder if it's all task dependent, right? Like,
Yep.
does that come into play? Because I almost feel like there's going to be enough choice that you find your own kind of path according to how you play anyway. You just got to do the task.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, I might not have to trivialize something because I might not have to piss with it anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I might just want to go into...
and see, that's the thing, like at the end of it, I think it's something like 60,000 points for the Dragon Trophy. If you're going for that, then you're going to want to min-max it. But if you're just going into this, to have a fun time and get to, tier 6 or tier 7 at the end, then yeah, go, with whatever feels right. And I think that's the distinction to make here, is that you're choosing between what is going to be the maximum fun for you. That's one option. What is going to allow you to maximize points the easiest to get to the end or get to another relic tier. And then you're choosing, which of these relics can also solve certain skills for you. And then you yourself are going to make these decisions based on your own personal preferences. That is how I would go about choosing relics.
That's it. And the other big thing, I mean, I love tasks. The achievement diaries and all that are always fun things for me to do. But the thing with this is we do only have the easy and medium so far. What comes out in the hard, the elite and the masters may totally change. I mean, there may be a lot more in that. So come Monday when they release the next lot of tasks, it might throw everything I've planned out the window because there's going to be a lot more points in something else than what I was going for.
Yeah, and that's the choice that you can make as you go about this. And the other thing I think I want to just highlight is that there are no wrong choices in terms of everything that's going to be presented here.
I mean, I play the game for fun, and chasing that dragon trophy would be awesome. But I probably won't get to the highest. But I'd love. I mean, my plan is to get to at least the second highest tier. But yeah, but the main thing is having fun. If it becomes a chore and becomes like work, and it's just like, oh, geez, I'm not enjoying this, then I'm not going to play it. Simple.
Yeah.
I just want to
And that's
play
what I
with
think. Having the
numbers.
whole world, having the whole world open, as you said, if I do get bored at one thing, I can run off and do something else, and that's what I've always loved about RuneScape. Once I
Yeah.
get bored of something, I can go do something else. So,
All right. Bears, did you have any reservations over the last 24 hours going into this based on anything in terms of, tasks or potential things that are coming up? Because we haven't talked to you about leagues before. Do you have any reservations, any questions, anything to that effect?
My biggest concern is at the end. I'm going to get so used to, it's a 1 in 5 chance to get a drop at Zammy. This is awesome. Just sitting there, just getting used to, if I do one Anachronia lap, I get 1,000,000 XP basically, right? Like, that's going to be sweet. But then I'm going to go back to my group Iron Man and be like, these drop rates kind of suck. I mean, I'll get over it pretty quickly, but I think that's my biggest reservation is just like their transition back to regular gameplay will be tough.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I can see that.
Well, let's get into some theory crafting then. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each of our picks for the various tiers. And we'll start off by giving a brief once-over of the various relics in each tier. Then we'll talk about what our pick is and why in that tier. And we'll highlight, of course, if none of the ones get chosen, where that might make sense or why it's not being chosen. So with that, is everybody ready to jump in here for some tier 1 relic action?
Let's go.
With the juicy ×4 multiplier, as soon as you land in Lumbridge, farming crops will also grow 5 times faster, run energy won't drain, hit chances increased by 20%, the archaeology shop will be fully available, and souls earned from necromancy rituals will be increased by 400%. So, off the top, we have Excavator, which gives buffs to mining and archaeology, gives you a tier 100 pickaxe and matic. Effectively, while training mining, it'll bank your ores, automatically smelt the ores into bars without the required smithing level. Gems will automatically be cut, and you'll do double damage during opportunities. During archaeology, materials will be banked automatically. 5 times chrono gain. Material cost to restore artifacts will be halved, and time sprites will be stationary and follow the player, while the archaeology journal will act as a free soil screener, and geodes will have a chance at containing archaeology materials. That one sounds good.
And the most important one, 5 times as many chronotes.
Yes, that is huge. That is huge. Now, Divine Woodcutter.
Sorry, yep.
Yeah, Divine Woodcutter, again, a hatchet that will have a toggle that will allow logs to be automatically burnt, and unburnt logs and bird's nest will be sent directly to the bank. And while training divination with the tool, memories will be automatically deposited straight into the rift, chronicles will be captured instantly, and energy springs will last 60 seconds longer, and you'll get double divine energy from springs and memory conversions. Then we have Animal Wrangler, which grants the harpoon for both fishing and hunter, and when fishing, you will not require bait. You'll have a 50% increase catch rate for all fish. All fish caught will be set to the bank, and you can have a toggle to automatically cook said fish. And when hunting, traps will never fail. All loot will be sent to the bank, and you'll get double hunter loot. All right, so let's talk a bit about this in terms of what we're thinking here. And I'm going to just start us off, and I'll say that my pick for this one was an easy one, and I'm going with Excavator for this relic tier, mainly because I feel like with so much XP floating around, if you don't take this, your archaeology is going to be floating behind you in terms of the levels that you're going to need to level level it up because we all know how that skill behaves with bonus XP. And there's just so many powerful relics at a high archaeology level that it makes sense to have whatever you can, in my view, as a short circuit to get to those higher archaeology levels. So I'm taking Excavator.
Yep, I'm in the same boat. I'm also taking that one. As you kind of said, like, the archaeology relics are just too good late game to not have, and to be able to speedrun them is good. It just, like, it seems pretty easy to make the decision if you just go off of the value of each skill out of the, 5, 6, 6 that are in this options. Like, archaeology is the most important skill here. Divination is also important, but nowhere close to as close as archaeology is. So, it seems like an easy pick.
Yeah, and we have other options for divination training as well, like the Gate of Validness, and, later on, there's that thing called, Divine Caches that will have their XP boosted as well, which is just absolutely crazy to imagine.
I mean, I was tossing up between Excavator and Animal Wrangler here, just because I know with Hunter, a lot of the secondaries like Renwall Spikes and that, which will be handy later on in herblore training and such. But ultimately,
my Hunter's going to be Head's Oasis.
Yeah, but we've got to think of what we need for other skills, like herblore. You're going to want extreme ranging and things like that. But ultimately, I did go Excavator because of the same reasons you said. I mean, the crow notes are going to be important. Having those relics. I mean, we've seen on Group Iron Man just how those late relics, just how important they are to make the game easier and such. So, and having your ores smelted automatically saves so much time, and a lot of those easy and medium tasks that we've seen, there are a lot of things that sort of revolve around mining and smithing. So ultimately, based on those, that's why I went Excavator.
All right, Janice, where are you on this discussion?
I'm with the Excavator as well. A lot of the points that you and Pern both made, but the Group Iron Man definitely taught me how important the relics were. On my main by time archaeology, I mean, the relics were great, but I couldn't appreciate them until now in the same way. Plus, I was thinking that Excavator having the smithing and stuff, you still need that mining and smithing when it comes to necromancy later on and making your gear. So that was the other thing with it.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm trying to find a world where people choose Divine Woodcutter and Animal Wrangler.
Well, so there is a choice that I had, a hard choice that I would have circled back. If I had made a different choice, I would have circled back and I would have taken Divine Woodcutter as a second pick.
Well, you are still free to do that once you get to tier 4.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen.
Well, let's see how you feel during the
at,
discussions. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, and see, I think a lot of the utility that Divine Woodcutter loses comes from the fact that we have the wood box. So that's not a benefit to this. And like we said, there are just so many other ways to train divination and handle divine charges later on with perfection, potentially, that Divine Woodcutter's on shaky ground. And if we're looking at Hunter, I mean, if we're looking at traditional Hunter training, maybe for the Hunter side of it. But I feel like if we're just looking at training in particular, Hetz handles that. Plus, I don't know. I think the fishing side is nice, but I don't necessarily know if that's the be all and end all compared to what archaeology provides, because there is that relic called bait and switch later on.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Well, and you don't. I just did this, right? Like, bait is not something. I mean, you can get your construction up pretty quick for the aquarium once you have it. it's all over, bud. Like you don't have to worry about bait or
Oh, God,
feathers or
yeah.
anything ever
Yeah.
again.
And see, that's the thing when you dive into a lot of these is that some of these were brought over, clearly from old school, and so like a question doesn't make sense here in RS3. So that's why I was trying to find a use case for those. But moving on to tier 2, multiplier increases for XP to 6x. Thaler is multiplied by 4. Rare items are twice as common. When getting a Slayer task, you'll be able to choose between 2 tasks, and you will choose between the minimum or maximum amounts when requesting any Slayer tasks, and Slayer and Reaper points will be multiplied by 5 when completing tasks at tier 2. Those are the passives. For the relics, we have Golden Footed, which grants a set of Golden Hawk boots that give you periodic agility XP while running, skilling, or using ultimate abilities. Upon completing an agility course, you'll receive 1,000 coins per agility level, so 99,000 at 99. And upon completing any agility course lap, the agility XP for completing the lap is increased by 200%, and it prevents you from failing any agility obstacles and shortcuts. Then we have 5-finger discount for thieving, which makes you never fail a thieving check. All thieving loot will be noted. Stealing from stalls does not cause them to deplete, and it reduces safe cracking cooldown to 1 minute. And then Farming Frenzy, which is the farming boost that allows for patches to be harvested instantly, and products will be automatically noted. Seeds instantly grow to full. 15% chance of increased crop yield. All patches are treated with Ultra Compost, and 20% chance to save planted seeds when sowing, and you'll plant max herbs using a single seed. I'm going to start with you, Bears, here. Where are you at with tier 2?
Farming Frenzy. It's kind of the same idea as tier 1. It is just so useful later on, where agility, you don't get late game boost for it, and 5-finger discount, again, you just don't get late game boost or PVM boost. As someone who is PVM focused, it's an easy decision. It's the only thing that makes me like relatively consider something else was where is it? The advanced time. Eventually, once you get tier 7, then you can just like get farming XP from that. But that still doesn't help you with herbs.
Yeah. So let me just break in on that.
Makes sense.
At tier 7, the advanced time spell can be cast without limit. So that basically means is that you can just spam click that, and your player-owned farm and ranch out of times dragons will just grow, and your miscellaneous ports will just happen.
Yep.
But that's a long way away. Tier 7 is 26,000 points. So that's a long ways away. Oh.
That's almost half the task done that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So there are 2 big things in the Farming Frenzy that I really like. It's the all patches are treated with Ultra Compost.
Mm-hmm.
Never having to worry about going to get Ultra Compost is nice. And then planting the max amount of herbs using a single seed is also really nice, where you can just, 1 seed, boom, I get.
Which, as we know, for Iron Man, when it comes to those herbs like Torstal, Lantademy, and Dwarflead, holy crap.
Yeah, that's going to be really nice.
Yeah. No surprise for me, the farming person, I'm on Farming Frenzy as well here. So we'll put that one there for that same reason Bears has said. Tanis?
Surprise, surprise, I'm actually on Farming Frenzy, but the reason this is my first little skill solve right here, because what will I do without a Shane and a Pern and a Thaxi and a Tim? I'm in trouble, because those were a lot harder to get stuff. So this is my first skill solve. This Farming Frenzy, because I'm gonna need herbs. No matter what the task is, even if you're doing quests, right? Think of all the times that you need an herb. You just need 1 herb, or something like that. So, yep, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean the same reasons. The Ultra Compost, the single seed usage. I mean, Golden Golden Footed was really interesting.
Yeah.
Because, it's just so annoying to train agility. But what we have to remember is the multiplier of XP that we have in here. 99 agility is not going to be that hard to get.
Especially with the Priv
with
course.
the multipliers. Well, that's right, because it's open to us, and I mean, you still need. I think it's 80. I think it's 75. You still need to use. Yeah, the use Priv course. But to get up there, it's not going to take that long. I mean, you go out to the wilderness, run a few laps out there. I mean, it's with 4 times XP.
Do the plank in the swamp.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much how I train to level 50. There's just so much to do. It just makes it. It just makes it sort of not an important one to do. I mean, the farming frenzy is the way to go.
Now, I do want to caveat with that, and this is some of the discussion that happened in the Discord over the past few days. Lemon, who was saying that she wanted to go with the agility one here because the plan is to get 200 mil on these accounts, and the farming and herblore solution after that is just to get to tier 7 and use advanced time. So there is that caveat there for that as well. And I mean, if it turns out that some of the hard tasks will be, get 120 agility or 200 mil agility XP, then maybe by the time we get to Monday, Golden Footed becomes a slightly more popular option to choose. So that is the case where you might choose that one. I don't think we choose five finger discount in any case, in reality.
No.
Because you have the 99 Thieving Cape. Eventually, that will note everything. We know how quick the XP will be with things like the Menophyte Marketeer and the Gullible Tourist to level up to safes. And even then, with safe XP, you're going to be blasting, to 85 thieving and then to Priv. That's where I was going with that.
I mean, we're done here.
Right. So
even reducing the safe cracking by a minute, 1 minute. So the only safes that you actually need to sit there and wait for are the tier 90 ones in the wilderness. So all the other ones, there's enough of them that you can rotate through and never see one still open.
Yeah.
So it's just it's not great.
Yeah.
It's a fun idea, but just
and this 5 finger discount relic was absolutely chosen on Old School because of just how impactful or how unimpactful their thieving is over there. So it'll be interesting to see how many percentage. They always provide stats during these leagues, so it'll be interesting to see how many people actually choose 5 finger discount. Moving on to tier 3, XP multiplier increased to 6 times. The cooldown on all movement abilities is set to 4.8 seconds, and dive is automatically unlocked. And the FAQ is also updated today that the mobile perk will still have the cooldown for things like dive, surge, and escape. So mobile will make it so that surge, escape, and dive have a 2.4 second cooldown. That's beyond tier 3.
That's still too long.
Okay, let's get some differences in our relic choices here at tier 3. We have Fairy's Flight that grants a fairy mushroom that teleports to any fairy ring, spirit tree, or farming patch and automatically completes Tree Gnome Village. Assassin's Insight will allow you teleportation to any Slayer Master and Slayer dungeon, as well as a collection of Slayer targets. And then the Voidwalker relic grants the Abyssal Conduit that allows for teleportation to anything that the Amulet of Glory does: Combat Bracelet, Delver's Anklet, Dig Site Pendant, Enlightened Amulet, Ferocious Ring, Games Necklace, Ring of Dueling, Ring of Respawn, Ring of Slaying, Ring of Wealth, Skills Necklace, and Traveler's Necklace. All right, Tannis, what are you picking on this teleportation tier?
Well, I was gonna go with Fairy's Flight because I was gonna rocket old school fairy rings. And you can still get to most places. Then I started thinking about Slayer, and I really like Slayer. So, yeah, I'm still gonna stick with my first choice, I think, though, and stay with Fairy's Flight because most Slayer areas ain't too far away from a fairy ring.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's the general thing as I feel in this tier is that, you know, we can pretty much choose anything here because getting around is not too difficult. Pern, how about you?
Yeah, obviously being the Slayer, Assassin's Insight was for me. Just being able to just go straight to the Slayer Master, straight to the Beast, it made it sort of a no contest for me. I did like Void Walker, but again, I mean, I can make a lot of these things, and traveling around, I mean, yeah, you want a fairy ring, you teleport to your nil and just run to the one up there, or
Fort
it
Edgeville.
just exactly. So it is pretty easy to get around. So for me, loving Slayer being my second favorite skill now. It's especially running around in GIM, not having my Slayer cape and the Dungeoneering cape all unlocked. You sort of a lot of those good creatures. Yeah, I mean they're not hard to get to, but there is a bit of running around and such. So being able to just go bang, bank, bang, bank, get back nice and easy, just made it a no-brainer for me.
All right, Bears.
I'm going with the Fairy's Flight. You said earlier in the show that there's not a wrong choice for any of these. I'd like to flip that around. I feel like there's not a right choice for any of these. I don't think any of these are too amazing.
No,
they all have
it's
uses. But none of them are like leaps and bounds ahead of the other one or game breaking or anything, and that's fine.
It's because
Fairy's
it's so
Flight
easy
just-
to get around in this game.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can't think of a time I've willingly used a fairy mushroom recently, or I used the Slayer cape to get to the Slayer Masters. That's helpful. And then the Void Walker, if and little spoiler, tier 4 has the Glue Connoisseur that gives you the Globetrotter outfit. If you're not going to pick that, then the Void Walker one could be worthwhile because you need all of those teleports for clues. So I understand that one probably the most if you're not picking the Clue Connoisseur in tier 4.
Yeah.
But I just think fairies is going to be what I use the most if I ever use them.
Yeah, I'm going with Fairy's Flight here as well. Because like we said, I don't think the choice in here, matters all too that much just because it's so easy to get around in the game. So
one thing I did not notice until now though is Fairy's Flights will teleport you to any farming patch. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, that's.
So,
and I'm also guessing too that I don't have to do fairy tale.
No,
so yay!
Yeah, it automatically completes all that.
Another skill solver, quest solver, right here.
That's the biggest one. If just all of the quests were completed, I'd love this. But I'm probably the only one that feels that way in this panel.
No, I'm with you.
Heretics.
Well, I'm going to thank some Patreon members before we get to Tier 4 because it is time for that. So this week I'd like to thank Alvaro L., Amos Reed, Arvid Zell, Bladecom, Chilbura, Dominic R., Duramax, Guy Lafleur, Imperialis, Jade Gizmo, Jason S., Jesse W., Julia W., Keski, Lemon Lodge, Luminos, Michelle M., Mike Wings, Mongrath, Pernasius, Ricky A., Robbie D., Runestar, Samuel FL, Scott DS, Shirt Pants, Sly Oasis, Samavin, Snail Mage, Tabby, The Naked Captain, The Dabbing Goat, Tim, Ukulele Steve, Woody, Zant, and Zazakon. Thank you so much, everybody. It means the world to us. Patreon.com/RSBANB. Sign up there. Gain access to a back catalog now of 85 plus monthly bits. This past month, we did an episode talking about the Third Age and how the Third Age was used as RuneScape's tentpole for world building in game, and just how much world building goes into this game, and why everything leans on the Third Age, and what makes the Third Age so great from that progression of storytelling. So if that sounds interesting to you, you can get that for as little as $1 a month and 85 other monthly bit bonus episodes. The coming month for when we run the October poll, I've already made the commitment that everything there will all be leagues related, because I wanted to have discussions about leagues in October to kind of just lean into that. So we're looking for some advanced content that we'll be doing on that, limited, of course, to the Patreon members. So if you want to hear that, sign up, patreon.com/RSBANDB for as little as $1 a month. We also do have a VIP tier at $3 a month, where you'll be getting a VIP rank on Discord, a special chat channel, and high-quality stereo versions of the podcast each week, plus a shout-out at the start of the month. And a little bird has been telling me in my ear that come next week or thereabouts, we'll be seeing some changes to this Patreon tier in particular. So keep your eyes open for that in terms of what might be changing with our Patreon offerings. Then, of course, we have the Insider tier for $5 a month, where you receive a shout-out on the podcast each and every week and get exclusive access to the clips that we use to make the clip show at the end of the year, plus, of course, the RSBNB Update Christmas card. So patreon.com/RSBNB. Thanks so much, everyone.
And get out there and listen to Shane's Third Age tent pole.
Oh, I said that, didn't I?
Yep. I couldn't let it go.
All right. Fair enough.
Just another thing just going back to your fairy rings one.
Yeah.
Don't forget that in those tasks, I know everyone's going, make it easier to get around. In the medium tasks, Fairy Tales 2 is 30 points, so I'm assuming Fairy Tales 3 will be one of the hard ones. So do keep in mind when you are selecting these with quests in mind that a lot of the quests that aren't pre-done for you are going to be tasks.
Yeah, and that's something else that's always interesting, is that if you see in the task list complete whatever, it's a quest for points. So there is some questing involved, except it's not like unlocking Priff kind of questing.
No, that's right, and that's one of the reasons. Sort of, that the fairy ring one was just no to me, because I knew I'm going to have to do those quests for the points.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to tier 4 then. With that, this one sees the multiplier increased to 8 times. Rare drops will be 4 times as common. All items will be unlocked on the tool belt, and the Gate of Validness is available to fight after completing the soul-searching quest. And in there we have Production Master, which grants an Elder Brooch of the Gods that has various production times reduced greatly, so that they'll have all their items processed at once. You'll never burn food accidentally. Your Brooch of the Gods will supply infinite urns. And while it is equipped, you'll gain the benefits of portable skilling stations even when not using one. And you can spawn Saren Spirits, Divine Blessings, Catalyst of Alteration, and Manifested Knowledge. And you also gain a +6 boost to smithing, herblore, cooking, crafting, and construction. And I want to actually specifically refer to the FAQ for this one before we get too far into this, because there was some questions about Production Master here, in that it will work with things like crafting in terms of like glass blowing, leather crafting, that sort of thing, gem cutting, fletching, bow cutting, and stringing, cleaning, herbs and mixing potions, both stages, everything with cooking, construction, flat packs, limestone bricks, planks, and refined planks. So this is a way to really just supercharge and run through all the artisan skills speedrun style. But it will not work with items that require a work action as part of their creation. So this is things like smithing, drafting, starbloom patterns, fletching eternal bows, and crossbows. So that is a big caveat there, is that it doesn't work for smithing and things like the 110 crafting stuff. So I just want to put that out there before we get into that. So that's Production Master. We also have Rejuvenated, which lets you pick another relic from tier 1, 2, or 3. And I mean, if you're trolling, you pick the other teleport option from tier 3. And then the other one is Clue Connoisseur, which optimizes clue solving by unlocking the full Globetrotter outfit, giving it infinite charges, receiving an extra casket when completing clues. When opening treasure trail caskets, you'll receive the maximum number of loot drops, and with starting a clue, it will have the minimum steps to complete. Chances of receiving sealed clue scrolls is double, and you can find an unlimited amount of sealed clues. And the biggest benefit, of course, here comes from the Globetrotter outfit, with the ability to be able to teleport to clue scroll locations, perform the emotes, and I think that's pretty much it in terms of what I like from Globetrotter, at least. So I'm just gonna get out in front of everybody here, and I'm gonna say that I am doing Clue Connoisseur for tier 4.
Yeah, I mean,
because I think there's going to be a lot of points in clues.
Yes. This was the hardest one for me because, I mean, Production Master offers so much good stuff that I use.
And I chose Production Master in the last 2 old school leagues, and I regretted my choice because the points were in clues.
But yeah, and that's it. And being a cluer and knowing just how powerful that Globetrotter outfit is, and being able to have infinite charges, I mean, again, it's the one I went for because, yeah, there are so many points in clues. I love clues, and this is just going to make it so much quicker to do. So, yep, Clue Connoisseur for me there as well.
All right, Bears?
Yep, I also picked the clue one. Again, it's to get to PVMing as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So clues give you EOS, they give you a ton of stuff. So it's easy choice. I will say Production Master sounds good. Like if I was gonna sit there and wanting to skill, it would be an easy pick for Production Master. I think that is a really well done relic. The Rejuvenated, that I have this whole time, I've read this so many times, and every single time I have assumed it was pick another relic from tier 1, 2, and 3, and then you'd get 2 from each of those tiers. And that seemed like it would be on par with the other 2. And now that I'm seeing you get to pick one of those, I don't see the value.
I mean, the other option, I think the Rejuvenate option is golden footed.
Yes, I think I agree with that, but like that's not good enough to waste your tier 4 on.
No.
If you could get Divine Woodcutter, golden footed, and then another teleport, I think you can make the argument for it then, but without that.
And see, this is the thing. We don't know how many points are in the hard, master, and elite tiers for clues. And based on how many tasks, like if I pull up the task list right now for
there's a
league,
lot of
we already have a lot in easy and medium.
Yep, exactly.
And me being not a clue person, that's something that helps me. And it helps me get points to the next tier.
And that's the beauty of it. It helps the people who love the clues, but it also helps people who don't like clues but want to get the points. And you know, obviously the items aren't going to be transferred over to the main account, so it doesn't matter how much they bring in. It's just I think if you are chasing points and you're not a pure skiller, it is the way to go.
Yeah, Tanis, what are you going? We've been talking about the pure skillers. What are you at here?
Yeah, I'm Production Master all the way. I thought about Rejuvenate, and I probably...
What would you have rejuvenated to?
I probably would have rejuvenated Divine Woodcutter, because of the divination. I don't enjoy divination, and that would have made it better.
Right. Right, because the gate is a boss for you, whereas the rest of us, we can just do it, and we can do caches.
Yeah. So I probably would have went that way, but I mean, Production Master is pretty... I mean, it's a given
and I mean, like, imagine finishing an entire inventory of gems off the bat.
Yeah.
Or, finishing an entire collection of planks or flat packs or limestone bricks at the house.
Yeah.
Or at the fort, I mean. So
you can fletch an inventory, right? Like you can.
Oh yeah,
a lot.
like one of the best ways of going about this for you, since you are going the excavator one, is to make darts for fletching, because then you just go click 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 back and forth and it's done instantly. It's insane XP.
So yeah, that's.
I figured you'd be choosing Production Master,
especially with the bank preset loading, and you just right click, bang 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 bang. It's just very simple.
Okay, we finally got some.
Real quick.
Yeah, go for it. I was gonna say
the Production Master. So you also get Siren Spirits, Divine Blessings, Catalyst of Alterations, which that's the clue ones from the scripture book.
Yeah.
And then Manifested Knowledge. I am not sure what that is.
That's the one from the carpets from
Sliskay's Endgame.
Menaphos. What was it? Yeah, the Sliskay's Endgame one. Sorry, when you have the 3 items.
I've never done that. So.
Yeah, when you have the 3 items.
I guess I feel like they should have added the Scripture of Eladinus bonds into that as well.
Oh shit!
Like that would have made sense.
Like the random XP drops, eh?
Yeah, I feel like that's perfect for Production Master.
But you can just do the gate and get those insane XP drops anyways when skilling.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're gonna give out the Siren Spirits, Divine Blessings, and Catalyst of Alteration, that's the same idea with Catalyst of Alteration. Just go do Closest and you can get the book. So why should you need the? So I don't know. I feel like that's maybe a miss on their end. But
Croesus is a group boss, so
Iron Man can boss with others. So
yeah, but it's a group boss where therefore you have to go and find someone, whereas Elidnus is just go in there. You can solo it.
Okay.
I guess that's fair.
I'm not too worried about that though. About finding people.
I agree. So
yeah. No, but I think that's a fair point, though, nonetheless.
My one thought.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. Now we move into the combat tier, Tier 5, where the multiplier goes to 8x. Ancient curses are unlocked. When getting a Reaper task, you get to choose the task. Vorkath and Amasket are available to fight without quest requirements, and you can swap spellbooks and prayer books at the Sage. Now,
who's the Sage?
It's the thing.
Same thing.
It's the thing at
War's Retreat.
No, that is the lectern thing that you unlock with combat achievements. The Sage is like the League Sage at Lumbridge.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah. We got Barbarism for melee. We already went over these on previous episodes, but Crit Happens for magic, Bombardment for range, and Soulborn for necromancy. They all generate 2x adrenaline with the basic abilities. They all reduce ability cooldowns by 20%, including special attacks. They all grant 100% hit chance. They all have 95% chance to save ammunition in combat, and where they get different is that for melee, you get an attack range increase of 1. You get a base damage increase by 500, meaning that number in your loadout menu increases by 500, and you heal for 10% of damage dealt. Magic has its critical strike damage increased by 50%. Ranged sees its single target's attacks hit up to 9 enemies in a 1 tiered tile, so that's like chinning everything. And then necromancy has your spirits be 25% larger and deal 25% more damage, and you unlock all abilities from the necromancy Well of Souls talent tree. And Tanis, I'm going to start with you here because I think you're going to be different on this tier.
Yeah, this one was another hard choice because I wanted to go Barbarism. Melee is probably my second most comfortable combat style. But once again, with Iron with my Iron Man experience, it's hard to beat necromancy. It's just really hard to beat necromancy for someone that is not a badass PVMer, and I'm just, doing Slayer and trying to survive. So, yeah, I'll be going Stillborn.
Okay. And, I bounced back and forth on this as well. I was thinking that I was going to do magic initially, but then I realized, that my solo Virago isn't up to snuff. And if there's one thing I'm going to do combat-wise on this league, it's going to push myself into some of these bosses that I've never really done before, except for their one Reaper kill requirement. So because of that, I'm going to go the safe method as well and choose necromancy here for this one.
Yeah, I mean, this is the one where I wish they had that rejuvenate, because, I mean, I'm not a bosser. Yeah, I mean, I do the basic bosses, but I'm not a high-level bosser. I've gone Soulborn simply because necromancy is what I'm used to. I know how to play it and such, so I've gone that way. But I would really have loved rejuvenate on this one.
That's a good point. I
because this
second
is all,
that. I second that.
That's the thing. All the others, this is just all pure your high-level PVM stuff, and it's like, well, yeah, that's great, but and again, it's probably important for your elite and master tier points. So but yeah.
And one of the things that has surprised me is that we're not seeing like a passive crit chance boost across the board or other things that lean into combat, because a lot of the OS leagues were more combat centric than this and went heavily down modifying combat both through the relics but also through separate systems on the side. But Bears, I gotta I know what you're taking, but tell the audience what you're taking.
I am taking, which is probably the worst of the four, Bombardment. I like, just in a PVM point of view, it is by far the worst.
Well, that's why you're on the show this week, because I wanted somebody to be different.
Yeah. So melee is going to get the extra damage, and it already does a ton of burst damage, so that's going to be good. That's going to would be a lot of fun to use.
That's what I was thinking. It's just that I don't trust myself with the 3-tile range at most bosses.
Yep, that's a tricky part. The magic, just getting more crit strike damage, that's going to be nuts once you get that set up. Oh man, that would be fun too. But I just enjoy range. I think that there will be spots where the single targets hit up to 9 enemies within one tile. I think that there will be spots where it's useful. I mean, off the top of my head, like AOD, it'll be good. Even like Archglacior, when the minions spawn, just like quickly take them out in one hit will be nice. But it just, range is not getting that like single target added boost of damage. So I still think it'll be fun, and I'm looking forward to it, but it just, range has been the style I've used for a while, so that's what I'm going to stick with.
Yeah, and we had that monthly bit a couple months ago, what about ranged, where we had that in-depth discussion, and we were wondering, why is range the least popular combat style? And it comes down to sustain as one option for it, or reason why. But I think the other thing we settled on is that's just that it's very difficult to get into, right?
Right, and I'm hoping that with better drop rates, it won't be too bad. I'll be able to figure it out pretty quickly. Yeah, I think if I had to rank them in like what would be the most damage or the most like PVM, the best ones for PVM, I think I would go magic, melee, necromancy, range. I don't think the necromancy is going to be that good. The spirit,
it's not going to be
25% more damage will be fun, and I think that will be where all the damage comes from. I'm also excited to see the spirits being 25% larger. I think that just sounds fun. I feel like people might get annoyed by it though, so we'll see if that sticks around.
Yeah, and the thing that I want to say about this is that you choose this based on the PVM that you want to do to unlock the kit along the way. Another thing Lemon did in the Clan Quest and RSBANDB Discord was provide a list of PVM-related items about where you get all the various, gear that you're going to need for that combat style. And looking at the necromancy list, you are, of course, crafting the bulk of it yourself. You then go to Raziel for first necromancer stuff and tier 95 items. Then you have the option of fighting a masket for the Devourer's Guard for your friends' backshots bears.
Absolutely.
But when it gets to ranged bears, you have consigned yourself to time at Raksha to get greater ricochet. Maybe some Telos for the SGB, but we'll see based on what your tier 7 is. ED3 for the ECB.
Yep.
Vorkath and Temple of Ambanishi for Elite Dracolic.
Yep.
Zamorak for the Bolg.
Yep.
The Dagonoth Kings and the Rex Matriarchs for the 2 rings. Elder God Wars for Pernix's Quiver. Dark Bow comes from Dark Beast, and of course the Zamorak Bow can of course be used as another EOF related weapon there. So you choose based on the PVM that you want to do and where you want to go beyond that. Because if you wanted to do melee as an example, and I point this out to Tanis and Pern here, is that if you wanted to extend this to a point where, you're using this for PVM at the end of the day, with melee, you'd be looking at things like the Dragonkin Lab for some abilities, Zamorak for Chaos Roar, Zamorak again for the vestments, Zuck for the sword, hard mode Archglacier, the Masterwork Spear from Archaeology, but things like the Dragon Two-Handed Sword.
380.
Yeah. Which I don't know
that we million XP to get.
But see, the thing is that melee these days isn't too much about bleed, so I don't necessarily know that the Masterwork Spear of Annihilation is something that you would absolutely need if you were doing melee. Because
I just need a scythe.
And this is the reason I would say for people to choose melee if you're wanting to go in and just have a fun time. What if I told you your Dragon Halberd becomes a tier 90 plus weapon with this melee relic on top of healing yourself?
Then it looks that it'd be
what if
like,
I told you that Lanicaea's spear goes beyond tier 100?
Yeah, well, then it's...
And those are both pretty easy to get, and they have extra pile of range.
So I see melee as in addition to necromancy, being a casual option if you don't want to do much PVM. So it is 100% viable
and
to do.
It can make the equipment. That's the other thing with melee. That's why that was a harder choice. Like, this one was a harder choice.
Yeah, and I mean, you're free.
Go either way and be comfortable.
Yeah, and you're free to still, choose between each. So I'll throw in for you, Tanis. I'll throw up the melee icon there too for you, because you're kind of bouncing back and forth between the two of them. So, but I just wanted to highlight how potentially casual friendly melee could be if you're not looking to min-max it. Because of that thing like the Dragon Halberd and the Dragon Two-Hander. Because remember, the Dragon Two-Hand special got buffed a year and a bit ago, so it'll clear out an entire room of mobs if you use it.
Where does it say that is now a T90 weapon, though?
Okay, so, if you open up your loadout menu and it shows your attack damage, or your main hand damage, your offhand damage, and your ability damage, right?
I've never done that, but yeah, okay.
Okay, so there's that number there. And if you increase that number by plus 500, that elevates that Dragon Halberd to being close to what a Noxious Scythe is. So if we look
I'm just coming I'm just going into loadout here.
Yeah, so
Okay, so I see, yep.
so if you add 500 to that, that's what this does.
Oh, so it adds... Oh, I thought it was it adds 500
To the final
hit
number that
points
you see?
to the-
No.
Ah.
So-
see, because I never look at these things. I just go, yeah, that's,
So here's
that's
the-
what I've got.
So here's
That's
the
what I do.
deal. Here's the deal. If you compare a Dragon Halberd to a Noxious Scythe, the tier 90 weapon, and you fire off a melee ability with your Dragon Halberd, typically it's 864. But if you add 500 to that, you're at 1364. And the base damage of a Noxious Scythe in the main game is 1296. So you are doing
A
more
lot easier to get
damage with a
Halberd.
Dragon Halberd and this
Wow.
relic than a tier 90 Noxious Scythe in game.
And it also gives you that extra one. So rather than being 2 squares, it goes out to 3 squares. Am
Yes.
I right in that?
Yes.
Ooh.
And the auto is 1341 typically, going up to 1841, but it's 2011
Ooh.
for the Noxious Scythe. So it's very competitive there with the tier 90.
Ooh.
And that 500's across the board, so you're going to be getting that all the way up.
All the way
Yeah,
up.
you know?
I didn't-
Yeah.
I did not. I just thought when it said melee damage is increased by 500, I just thought it was 500 hit points.
No. And if you look at Tutmoken's Light, the tier 95 weapon that just came out from a basket, it has an ability damage of
With that-
1368.
Yeah, I'd never get that anyway, but still.
So if you no, but what I'm saying is that if you manage to get now I'm going to switch over to the Lanicaeus Spear. If you manage to get a Lanicaeus Spear, your damage will be 1796, which is more
Holy.
than the tier 95 Tutmoken's Light in game.
Nice.
Okay.
Do we have
You've
some
given
late
me
changers
food
here for
for
people who might be
thought.
doing melee?
Well, the good thing about this is I don't have to make the decision
You
day
don't.
one.
So should I do what I did for
I-
Tanis then and
Yeah,
put that
because-
next to your thing as well?
Yeah, I'll look at Lanicaeus Spear and the work up to that. I mean, and as you said, even the Dragon Helmet, because I mean, I love my Scythe. I mean, Scythe is my melee weapon.
Right. So you get to tier 5, your Dragon Halberd
Yeah.
becomes better than a Nox Scythe.
But yeah, but even that, even if I get a crystal or even an attuned crystal halberd, I mean, that just takes that up to 99.
Oh,
weapon.
shit. An attuned crystal halberd.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And keep in mind,
Ooh.
if you heal or if you hit, and it's entirely possible
And
you'll
you
do
heal
this,
it. Yeah.
you'll hit between 12k and 15k. You're automatically healing almost the amount of it as a shark.
Yeah.
For that.
And when you tie this one into the T7 thing, this could actually and it gives me something different to do rather than just relying on the ghosts all the time. This is it's just something different to play around with.
And that's what
I've
wanted to.
I've always liked.
And that's why I wanted to bring this out here, those numbers, and
Hmm.
in particular, the fact that, you don't necessarily need to go get Azaros Godsword and the vestments and whatnot. You can.
Yeah, and that's and again with the mining relic that we've got at the start, I mean, making masterwork is going to be a hell of a lot easier.
Mhm.
Yeah, you don't need the augmented one. You just go the basic one. This really, and it gives me something different to do. Because, I mean, I've always loved melee, but it's just never been strong enough to really do anything other than Abbey Demon's AFK.
Bears, what's your take on
Okay.
endgame melee here? Like, for people who haven't done, and I'm asking this mainly for me, because I'm assuming Pern and Tanis want to take it from a casual PVM route. But, for me, somebody who's done Reaper, once and going to do it again probably on the GIM. what's your thoughts on this melee relic?
I think it'll be really good. Yeah, just like the damage output that it's going to be doing is melee already does a ton of damage, but it's going to consistently do more damage now. And then the biggest two things with melee is survivability. So getting soul split basically for free is awesome. And then being able to step away another step is also big. So it kind of solves the two big melee issues, relatively solves. And it does more damage. So I like it a lot.
Yeah. Like if
change me. You've convinced me. Change me. I'm changing to barbarism.
Barbarism entirely? Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's good. We almost got one of each here. I was going to go with barbarism as well, but then I thought to myself, do I really trust myself going, within range of 3 on a lot of bosses out there? And, do I want to go and do things like Zamorak, with the sole intention of getting, the vestments just to have this as a set, when in reality what I was wanting to do is push myself more with some PVM related things that I haven't done before, which I know I can do with necromancy. So I would like to do melee, but I don't think I'm ready to make that jump just yet.
Yeah,
commitment issues, Shane.
What was that, Tannis?
I think commitment issues.
Yeah,
Shane.
yeah.
Yeah, I might. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be tossing up between the two now. I'll see how I go throughout the rest of it, but and it depends on the tasks. I mean, if there's some high level tasks which I know I can do with Necro, and I might struggle with that might sort of sway back the other way.
The only thing is that if you don't take the Necro relic, you have to do that soul grind.
Yes, and that was the other thing I was thinking, which isn't hard, but 35,000.
Because they do multiply it by 4 at the beginning. So
okay, well, so that multiplied by 4, does that go for the? Souls earned 400%.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, so that takes it down a lot too.
Yeah, so.
Especially since I do so many dragon
kills.
Yeah,
because what is it you need? You need 95k at the end, right?
35.
Oh, 35.
35k, yeah.
So that's like only 8,700. That's not too bad. But, in any case, moving on to tier 6. Now, I know we had a lot of fun with that combat one, and that's one of the fun things about Leagues. It's just seeing how insane you can get. Gets even more insane here at tier 6 because the multiplier goes up to 12x. Ancient Magic Spellbook is unlocked. Lunar Magic and most spells are unlocked. And all Saren spells and prayers are unlocked. And the Ring of Vigor passive is also unlocked with this. And this is the tier where we have Banker's Note, which grants access to your bank from anywhere in the world. And the Activate option allows you to note and unnote items in one action with a specified quantity, and you can manually use items on the Banker's Note to note and unnote items directly in your inventory. And the other option at this tier is Perfection, which gives you infinite invention materials, augmented items and machines consume no charge. Helpful perks will trigger 10% more often, which does not stack with the level 20 benefit. Invention machines will run twice as fast. And when disassembling or alchemizing manually, you gain the resources from both actions, and you have a 66% chance to save the resource. You also unlock all blueprints for the Dwarven and Goblin tech tree.
Now, access to infinite invention materials, if you've got that, why do you need to disassemble?
Money making.
But that's elking.
Right, but it becomes a clickless elk because you can have, a stack of 180 items and you just do those and you don't need to click each and every time. So it becomes a money-making tool.
Oh,
I was wondering the same thing, but I didn't really care because Perfection is just better. So I didn't even read too much into it, but that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that changes because I've been leaning towards bankers, but.
And also it was confirmed in the FAQ that those infinite invention materials mean that you'll be able to just spam create things like gizmos and whatnot, and you won't be limited in that.
And again, yeah, I mean that's. I mean, I'm in two minds on this one still, and I haven't made up my mind because for me, primarily skilling, the banker's note is really handy, but it might be because I just throw on basic augments on my stuff, but having
Right,
the
and that's
chance to
not
get
what
the
and
best,
that's not what I'm going for, and I don't think that's what Bears is going for perk wise. So, Bears, are you going perfection?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, it's like, yeah, even just getting the best in slot scaling perks will be really nice.
Yeah, I'm going to put that in for both of us because perfection was one of the ones that I committed to, speaking of those commitment issues, very early on. Because
he put a ring on that one.
Yeah, there you go. I really screwed myself over in the last old school league because I did not have a good GP moneymaker. And I want to have something in this league that will allow me to make money quickly if I need it. I don't anticipate needing it for more than the Prif Cleansing Stones and Summoning. But it's still nice to have to throw at things like Demonic Throne Construction. So that, plus just my typical hatred of the Invention RNG system, is what has wedded me, to use that word again, the rings and the wedding and the commitment to perfection.
Speaking of that, getting off leagues for a bit, it's time we update on Invention and be able to sell perked gizmos on the GE.
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Great money making for skillers too. They can just break down things, get the best, and I can just jump on and buy it.
I think there's a case to be made that a lot of the perks, or not the perks, but the materials, if they're not going to do that, I'd like to see what they did for the archaeology ones to allow those to be sold. But,
anyway,
I just feel like perfection is such a important thing to take care for my stuff as to what I've done. Tanis, where are you on this?
I'm 100% banker's note.
Okay. Tell me about it. Sell me on this. Because I was talking with people this afternoon trying to find use cases for banker's note. What do we got?
So, you mentioned summoning. Well, I can do my double XP method of summoning. Boom, boom, let's go. I hate banking. I hate banking. So it's just so useful for me. Inventory management, it's a pain in the ass. I'm the kind of player that when I get somewhere, I don't want to leave until I'm done. Like that's just how I am. I might be there 3 days, 4 days. Like that's why that's just how I am. So like it's beneficial to be able to just note whatever I'm gathering at that point, yeah, so just being able to have that bank just at my fingertips it was an easy choice for me.
Okay. And, from the accessibility standpoint, I definitely see that. Another thing I think you're really going to enjoy with Banker's Note is what it can do for something like rune crafting. Because imagine just going to the necrotic rune altar and just spamming impure essence, or going to ZMI if you need an assortment of runes, or just going to the blood altar for massive rune crafting XP.
Yeah, it'll be amazing. It's good for so many things. Like look at gathering, right? Like I'm fishing. You name it.
Basically,
like,
for your non-mining gathering.
Yeah. So,
I can see that. And another thing I think that it does is that it gives you a gameplay experience that you're not going to get anywhere else but in leagues.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, even things like mining. I mean, you've got the mining box, but it only holds 120, and then I think it goes up to 140 as you get higher. Or, you fill that up very quickly, so you are running forwards a lot. So with this, and especially that they're going to be already put into bars for you,
Yeah, well, it's everything that I'm already using porters for, which is everything. Like I
Without the
would
need,
rather,
without the need of making a Grace of the Elves, because you don't have us to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm still tossing up between the two.
Okay, well, if I'm gonna force you right now, where are you at?
I'm still at Bankers, just because perks don't, especially with the extra XP and all that you're already getting, perks don't mean a great deal to me. But that's my gameplay. I mean, I'm not going to be doing high level PVM. I'll go and do the ones that I have to for the points, but my main thing will be concentrating on all round points. So then there are going to be ones that I'm not going to be able to touch, like getting a Zuck sword and things like that. So this is probably long term going to be more useful to me, but I'm still going to see, because again, as we said, there's relics that will note bones for me. How easy is it going to be for me to make magic note paper? Rune span. I mean, you're going to be getting by this stage, what are we up to? 8 times multiplier at Runespan. So, well, actually 12 times multiplier at level 6 at Runespan. So it sort of makes that viable for runecraft training again. So I'm still up in the air. I haven't decided on this one. But
well, the good thing is you got a long time to decide.
And that's the whole thing. I don't have to decide day 1 or day 2, because it's those first 2 that I'm concentrating on straight away, and then I mean, as I said, I might change to melee. It just depends. So.
All right. Well, I think we had a good discussion on that, because I was worried we'd come in here and just absolutely have nothing good to say about Banker's Notes. So thank you, Tanis. All right. And now moving on to Tier 7, the last tier. And, this one is at 26,000 points. The multiplier is 16x. Rare items will be 6 times as common, and the advanced time spell can be cast without limit. So this has huge implications for things like miscellanea, like the player-owned farm, like archaeology research, ports, Anachronia, the Ark, red and crystal sandstone. Oh my god, so many things in there with this advanced time spell. And there was that focus earlier on where if you didn't want to take the farming one, you could do farming here with the skip time, as well as managing miscellanea with your herbs from there. So that is an option on that. But we have very specific combat relics here in this tier. So starting off, we have Ascension, which has attacks have a 5% chance to empower you with the Stone of Jazz, increasing your combat stats to 255 for 6 seconds. It grants the Elder Godbook containing the effects of every combat godbook, including Erethdor's Grimoire, and it was in the FAQ that this provides the Grimoire crit chance as an always-on passive, so that is huge for all of the combat styles. And God activation cooldown has been reduced from 15 seconds to 4.8 seconds. Then we have...
When you say it's a when you say it is a passive, but that's only if you
for the
have
Grimoire.
This one?
Yeah, so if you take Ascension and you equip this Grimoire that you're given, you will get the always on 12% crit chance boost from Erethdor's Grimoire.
Okay.
So, which is just so important for things like Magic. And we were wondering how that was going to go with Magic. If Magic people were going to need to hunt a bunch of Solak or whatever, but that is always going to be there for that one. Then we have Specialist, which grants the Elder Essence of Finality, which allows you to choose any special attack from a menu without needing the weapon. At the bank, the special attack contained within the Elder Essence of Finality can be changed for free, and every 15 seconds, your next special attack will consume no adrenaline, and special attacks deal 50% more damage. And then we have Everlasting Faith. Per points no longer drain. Protection prayers and deflect curses block plus 50% damage. And one thing I'm not sure on is that does this mean that they block 100% of damage?
I
Because
took
that's
it
how
as
that reads to me.
75%.
That's what I
I
thought.
took it as
yeah.
100.
Okay. When I thought plus 50%, I thought an extra 50% on top of the 50% you got, so it made it 75%. But
Yeah, that might be
anyway.
the way it goes, because, I mean, it would be a little bit too powerful if it blocked everything. And then Protection Prayers and Deflect Curses act as Soul Split being active, so that's level 37 prayer and up. And then on death, Revive with 100% of your max life points. Does not work in PvP, has a 5-minute cooldown. Bears, I want to talk to you about these ones here. Who chooses Specialist? I think it's like a magic, or it really falls down to the magic ranged people, right?
I think it's only ranged. Like, you don't really have any powerful magic weapons that are in EOF. Like, Gothic Staff, Iban Staff, like, those
Cheap
are the
enough
two
to
big
get.
ones. Yeah, those are super easy.
But then if you look at
it-
ranged, you have the SGB, and with it increasing the amount of damage that special attack does by 50%, that's huge.
Yep, this is the one I'm struggling with the most still. I think I'm still leaning towards the book one. I think the books are just going to be too good. Increasing your stats to 255 for 6 seconds, 5% of the time, insane. All the books combined, insane. And then the activation cooldown reduced, insane. So, like, all those three things are insane. The reason I kind of like Specialist is it takes away either Telos or needing to get the SGB, or it takes away ED3 needing to get the ECB, because I get one of those for free. And then, yeah, the 50% more damage that will be insane with the SGB. I think
Should I put
I
them
like
both
all
up
three
for
of
you?
these. Yeah, please do. I like
Okay.
all three of these relics.
Which one are you
Everlasting
leaning
Faith is-
towards more?
See, I really don't know. I think it'll
Okay.
really come down to how much I want to do Telos or how much I want to do ED3. The
Okay.
day I unlock Tier 7.
But you're not taking
I'm like, yep, let's go
Everlasting
for
Faith,
it.
right?
Correct. I'm not. I think it's very good. I think it's perfect for people who want to learn bosses, and they don't feel like they are good enough to do something like Solak or Telos or Virago, and they can take it and be like, okay, I know that I need to pray melee, and I can just go in there and kind of learn what's going on, and also deal extra damage from all the other tiers that they're getting. So I really like it. It's not going to be useful to me, as I know how to do all the fights and know how to kill every boss. But for someone who doesn't, it's absolutely amazing, and I'm so glad they added it.
All right, fair enough. Pern, what are you at?
Yeah, I'm Everlasting Faith all the way. I'm not good enough at PVM. I mean, the others, the books. I've never used books really, but they sound nice. But all with normal PVM, it's all switching. You got to use this. You got to get that. You got that. Having that it's all open at once would be really nice. But I think Everlasting Faith for me is going to give me that chance to attempt some of those bosses that I struggle with on normal play, and give me a chance to learn mechanics and play, and just have that chance of living through it and getting a bit of experience at them, where maybe I'll then be able to transfer those skills over.
All right. Tanis?
Yeah. I'm going the normie option. I don't think that's a surprise.
No, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's very powerful still. Like, there's no wrong choice here.
Yeah, the Everlasting Faith, the protection prayer as Soul Split, if you add that in with the barbarism, that's right up my alley. Sustainability,
You become invincible
survival.
almost.
Yeah, I mean that's my jam.
And then throw in the masterwork
yeah.
bleed effect too that spreads the damage out.
Yep. So yeah, that's where I'm going. Probably not a surprise, but it just makes sense.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Ascension, I think, and Bears. I don't think that, like, based on my Theorycraft initially that I did on this, I don't think there's any reason with Necro to choose the special attack one.
Yeah, I agree. If you're picking Necro, yeah, it's just Necro, melee, or magic. I really think range is the only one that could take specialist.
Yeah, because Necro gets so many benefits from that crit chance boost from the Grimoire, because we don't do equilibrium builds in this league. The Jazz book, the full book, the Wen book. So I do think Ascension makes sense in that case for Necro in particular. And I could make a case for doing Everlasting Faith for me, but really the only bosses that I don't feel 100% confident at with Necro, and if I apply myself fully, is things like High Enraged Telos, Solak, Virago, and Raksha. But with everything else in, the league, I think I have the ability to push myself further and use the Necro powers that I have to just do a little bit more at those ones. So that's why I feel like I don't need Everlasting Faith. But I could be wrong, if we see all sorts of stories by the time we get there. But I think I'm fairly set on Ascension as we have it. So
real quick, going back to mine.
Yes.
Now that I think about it, I could, since you can switch whenever you want, I could go to a boss and be like, okay, this one's good for the SGB, and bring the SGB.
Yep.
And then the next boss, all right, no SGB, I'll bring an ECB. And I really, in theory, could get away with not even going to either of those bosses and just switch between them, because in theory, the SGB, I'm getting 50% more damage anyways.
Yeah.
So that covers not having the ECB. I don't know. Maybe I could get away with not.
Because then you heal with Soul
two.
Split for that extra damage, right?
Right. So I'm leaning towards Specialist right now. Because now that I think about it, I do only need to go to one of those two bosses. So it should be okay.
All right, there we have it, folks. That's the final rundown for what we're leaning for right now. And we could get all the the hard and beyond tasks come Monday, and everything could change for that. But right now, I think we're pretty well set on that. Does anybody have any final thoughts, relic wise or skill solve wise here based on what we've been discussing?
No.
Nope.
Just ready to go. Wait and see.
I think a lot of the training methods, especially sort of starting, they're going to be fairly straightforward in what you do. As you said, Hunter at Het's Oasis, rune crafting, just do the rune span.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've already got a bunch of these.
I mean, I can see everyone on the world with the gullible tourist. Have they said that the gullible tourist will be active on these worlds?
I'm assuming it will be. If not, that's a big oversight.
Because everyone will be just sitting there. Where's the gullible? Everyone's on one world, robbing the tourist. Poor tourist.
Like, let's just run through some of the other skills. Like, the gathering skills are simple. I think the tier 1 solves them, and if not, you use whatever else you have along the way to just level them up or use quest rewards as you go for that. So I'm not too worried about those. The thing that I wanted to mention, and we were talking a bit about in pre-show, but I'll mention it right here. I feel like churning cream cheese and regular wine are going to be the dark horses for cooking, especially with the regular grape seeds that we have nowadays.
Probably. And think about 16 times.
Yeah.
Like, you can even take something that is a really accessible training method, and with 16 times, boom.
You'll have 99 in a day.
Uh-huh. But you know what I mean? Like, you don't necessarily have to have that highest level stuff.
Or even if you need
You
a
can
top
just
up
get
on
by at
farming
mid-tier.
XP, you just go turn some shit at the Manor Farm.
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, even that, as you said, farming. I mean, because what's the manure give? It gives, was it 17?
It's like 1 or
per
17?
turn?
Yeah, 17.
I thought it was 17.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
17 per turn.
and I mean, if we look at the
So multiply that by 4.
that's more than enough.
Yeah, just bang, 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 and then you straight in, get your 40, and then you get your rabbits going, and
You could even
Yeah,
just do rabbits there, and that'd be insane.
Well, exactly. I mean, just doing rabbits for the XP. I mean, yeah, you can only hand in 16 a day, but if you're just breeding rabbits
Just
over and
destroy
over and over, exactly. I mean, it's no point. It's just that XP multiplier is insane, and it's gonna really take out a lot of the highest level training because you're going to be flying through it so quickly.
Yeah,
that
and
it's
and,
not
and
going
that's
to
the
be
thing
necessary.
that a lot of people don't realize for leagues is that the training becomes secondary to the tasking, and that's why you look at crafting. It's something like Excavator, the Gate of Validness. Prayer, if you have the money, becomes the cleansing stones, or just whatever bones you have from the set, right? So
after doing crafting for my Iron Man, at the gates, I mean, gates is one of the first things I'm going to be chasing, just to stand in and get the crafting up to the levels that I need to do the tasks.
Yeah, and divination is simple with the early memory fragments at the Guardian of Guthix there, and then
Quick
caches.
When we're talking about crafting and with the excavator, when it says it automatically cuts the gems, does that mean you get the XP from the gems?
You did on old school. You did on old school, yes. So I'm assuming you do here.
Good. Yeah. See, again, that's something like that. You just go bang, bang. And that's where I think that banker's note would have been handy a little bit earlier.
Yeah. What about fire making?
Well, again, if you're getting the XP when you're cutting the wood, just set, you get that point where you can just set it.
Right, but that's
wasn't that one of the?
That's if you have divine woodcutter.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was a passive. No, it's okay. Yeah, forget that.
Yeah, that's if you have divine.
But again, fire making, it's going to be so quick to get up, and then once you get, I think it's 85, 87. You go to the Anachronia and just cut hair.
Yeah.
That's gonna be really good XP.
For GP, you have Maze Quest Shop and Wilderness events, because those are active. Wilderness Flash events are going to be huge.
Oh, Wilderness
so
Flash!
Excited to do those again.
Yeah, because that's the one thing I miss on GIM is
what do we do for dungeoneering?
Avoid it.
Depends.
What I'm doing.
Oh yeah, elite dungeons.
Well, again, it depends what's on. It depends what's on the task sets.
Yeah.
So think about how crazy range is going to be when you have
chaotics
dungeons. Just like everything's AOE, you can surge every half a second, basically. Like you're going to be able to do elite dungeons in like 5 minutes.
They're going to be back to how they once used to be with the power creep. So. But there's a bit of a brief discussion on skill solves. It's going to be different for everybody as they do this. My goal this weekend is to figure out what the first day looks like and nail down all my skill solves in that regard. But anything else before we talk about what we've been up to?
Yeah, I sadly will be on mobile for the first week of it.
Oh, that'll
So
be interesting.
that's gonna make it. Yeah, I mean, I'm bringing my iPad with me, so I'll be playing on my iPad and I'll the tier on a laptop or on my phone and just kind of go through them on mobile. It won't be fun. I probably won't do many quests, if any, so that will slow me down a little bit. But I'm hoping just to. I mean, I could probably knock out 120 archaeology pretty quickly in a week.
Just AFK stuff.
Yeah, so I'm like maybe doing something like that, archaeology, and then get like bait and switch, so then I could start fishing and having the food cooked for me. Just kind of go from there.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that being said, let's talk a little bit about what we've been up to in game as we wrap up this chapter on the group Iron Man, put that on pause for a bit, and move over to leagues. What have you been doing, Bears?
My team is pushing for the tier 10 group Iron Man achievements. We're a couple hundred quest points away, and the From Nick Elites away. And then once we do those, I think we're going to de-competitive and be able to start playing with other people.
Oh, wow.
I guess I haven't looked in a while, but we're falling down the rankings. We capped out at like 55 or so, and then we're probably in the 70s right now.
Yeah, you want to expand out the group a bit and move on to some kind of different kind of PVM options, I bet.
Yep, one of the guys he came back yesterday, but he was gone for 5 weeks. So I don't know. Maybe since he's back, we'll stay competitive, but there's really not a need for it now that we're dropping down the rankings.
All right, sounds good. And of course, looking forward to hearing all about the league's adventures as we go throughout this. And another thing that I have done this week is that I had a set of goals that I wanted to get done before league started. And the big thing about this was that it was always about getting towards the tier 90 necromancy gear. And at the end of it all, we did that. We did an Elite Dungeon trilogy run this past weekend. Pern, Daxi, and myself. Pern died at pretty much every boss. I died at many of them, and I'll attribute that to me being rusty.
There's only one I didn't die at, and I was quite excited.
Which one was that? That was like the second boss in ED2, right?
ED3, I think it was.
Okay. Oh, right. Terrakit.
No, I died.
No, it was definitely Terrakit that you didn't die at. Yeah.
Terrakit, that's the one, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one has the most depth potential.
I don't know. We had the easiest time with Terrakit, oddly enough.
I'm just sitting there going, are you kidding me? I mean, it's just like, I couldn't believe just how, I know I'm bad, but I couldn't believe how bad I was going in there and, oh yeah, Pern's dead.
Our hardest one was Masuda Bears, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. That boss sucks.
Yeah.
Annoying.
And just to show how rusty we were, we forgot the mechanics on the first boss, Astalarn, of ED2. Even though ED2 is probably the easiest. Oh, really? I thought ED2 was the easiest dungeon.
Yeah.
Well, it is. That's just the most annoying boss of the three, Astalarn. I've been actually doing a lot of ED2 recently, and we've been duoing, and one of us usually dies during it.
Okay, that makes me feel a bit better then.
Yeah, we're just like, it could like, sometimes those, I don't know what they are, like the balls will just spawn on top of you
the
and
neutron
hit
stars.
You for 5k damage. Yeah, and you're just like, oh, well, good game, I guess, and you just got to tip your cap.
But of course, the reason for that was to do the tier 90 Necro Killy task, and after that was done, I did my Telos kill and my Araxite kill. Oddly enough, the Telos kill was easier than the Araxite one for me. I don't know why. I think it was because I don't like Minions phase, and Minions path was up. It was Minions and Darkness on Araxite, which I'm not a fan of.
You mirror back yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, mirror back yourself, yeah. Yeah, I've still got to go do Telos, and then I can do my T90s.
Yeah. But after that, I finished up the Hermetic Plate grind, which, it always amazes me how the RNG bounces back and forth on that one. Because, some hours I'll get, like 1 or 2 plates, and the next hour I got 6.
I had 2 hours where I didn't get a single one, and then the next hour I got 7. It's just like, are you serious?
But after that, I went on a questing push to unlock the curses, and pretty much in the span of a day, did Tale of the Muspah, Curse of Arav, Diva's Mines, and the Temple at Sentistan. And believe it or not, my favorite of all those quests that I did was the Tale of Muspah, believe it or not.
That's a fun little quest.
Yeah. Because you find that Majorat in there, and then spoilers for Ritual of Majorat, that's the one that ends up getting sacrificed.
Yeah, you uncover the thing, go meet him down his cave, and then, a bit later on,
put him away to rest, and then he gets sacrificed to Ritual of Majorat.
Oh, thanks for releasing me. Now I'm going to go die.
I believe you guys spoiled that for me.
But see, here's the thing. I really enjoyed these Majorat Mysteries quests, and I definitely think that this quest era is up there way ahead than the first chapter of the 6th Age stuff, meaning ahead of the Slitgate game stuff. I think that it is, it's legendary, and it is probably as good, but not as legendary as the Elder God War stuff. And that's kind of where I'm at with that now. But aside from that, just finished off 95 Prayer. So that's
nice.
Big goal done on the GIM.
Is Ritual of the Majorat the one that allows you to use the Stoner Jazz?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So I have done it on one account then.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I was just looking. I had to do 10 quests on the GIM to be able to do it.
Yeah, and that's the reason you want to do that is if you're going to be fighting glaciers down in the original glacier cave or killing anything up in the northwest part of the wilderness, basically.
Yeah. Well, I think you can use the Stoner Jazz buff at Nex.
Oh yeah, that counts too because it's that entire area. Yeah.
But not AOD. It's strange.
Which is weird because it's kind of in the same room and whatnot.
Yeah.
So. All right.
Sorry,
Tannis, how about you? No. You're good.
Was working on my tier 60 necromancy gear. Got that. By the time I got it, it looks like I'm gonna need tier 70 now. So that's kind of how that goes sometimes. So working on that, and collecting some dragon bones for rituals.
Oh, we have plenty of mementos for souls, by the way, that you can just use for rituals.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're in the bank.
Right on.
Use those.
Okay.
Yeah, we just dump them in there now that we've all got our souls. Everyone just dumps them in there. So you and Tim feel free to grab them.
Sweet.
Yep, yeah, it just makes things so much easier with that. So.
Yeah, that's about it.
All right, how about you, Pern?
Yeah, obviously dying a lot at the ED3 runs and getting really pissed off at myself. Knocked out a couple of 99s this week. One coming after the grab that you did though, so we'll hear about that soon. But other than that, just working on sort of slapping out a few 99s. I've got to get Dungeoneering to 95. I'm about 300k away. I've been doing 1 or 2 dungeons a night on that. If it comes up as one of the daily challenges, I'll always double it and do 2. And during that, found an unreadable page and unlocked perfect plus potions for us. So now we've got to try and hunt down an acorn so we can start getting blossoms to make those for the group. You had 5, so I was able to make, and I had 1 in my bank, so I was able to make 6. I kept 1 and dropped the other 5 in the bank. But
yeah. Like you're only guaranteed 1 when you max.
Yeah.
So
it's
I don't.
1 in 100,000 as a drop from killing elves, and it's a very rare drop from pickpocketing them. So fun and games.
I think your best bet might be Crystal Implings. They're 1 in 167 from them.
Yeah, but try and find them. I was world hopping to try and find one.
Well, that's why I was trying to flag that one down for you the other week.
No, yeah, I grabbed it. It's the first one I've grabbed.
And you know what the funny bit is on my main? I actually had the Crystal Acorn from one of these things before I maxed. I don't know what I got it from.
I think I got 6 or 7 Crystal Acorns on my main, but yeah, unfortunately you can't drop it to give to this one. But anyway, but yeah, that's basically been my game.
All right. Well, with that, we do have a few achievements this week as well. Reminder, if you want your achievements mentioned on the show, you can sign up on the RSBANDB forums, join Clan Quest, or just post them on the Discord like we do in 2025 in the achievements channel at update.show/Discord. So starting off, we have Them Gains with 200 million Dungeon Area XP on September 11th, Chilbura with 110 Firemaking on the 10th, Fight Caves with 200 mil Strength on the 10th, Ormean with 99 Farming on the 10th, and Zerdones with 120 Firemaking on the 9th.
And moving on to September 8th, we have Erendil 20 with 120 Magic. Ridgeway hit both 120 Summoning and 120 Construction, and also got the Construction pet. Fight Caves again with 200 mil Magic. And on to September 7th, we have Codeforge with 200 mil Defense, and Drizzly Lemon with 120 Rune Crafting.
Continuing on the 7th, we have Mr. Crafty with 120 Divination, Queen Rapol with 120 Necromancy. Moving on to September 6th, we have Gooden with 200 mil Hunter, Ormean with 120 Invention, and Pugnacious with 99 Herblore. Congratulations.
Well done all.
Nice. Now keep going and get me some Power Bursts of Vitality.
What? Yeah, but tell me what they don't. No, that's our main herblorist is Thaxi. He's like 106 or 107, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know what he's at, but I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to get that to 105. And that's another reason why you might choose Production Master, because that means then at level 99 you can make these Power Bursts of Vitality. So so many choices here. So many choices with that. But,
yeah, that's the worst tier to choose between.
Yeah. Zerdone's also got a Scepter of the God in all his thieving work there. So congratulations to you.
Well done. I've been trying to get one of those.
All right. Pick of the week time. So continuing on the chapter of how to do podcasts, this past week I replaced my old iMac that did the production stuff on the show and lots of other things in my day-to-day computing stuff with a modern-day Mac Studio. That's not the pick of the week because that's significantly more expensive than this one. But the pick of the week for this week is a LG 27-inch 4K monitor. And the reason I wanted to put this on here is because I came from a 27-inch iMac. And the display on that 27-inch iMac is what I would put in the legendary category, where it's the kind of display that, just pops, and it's something that is just very, very difficult to part with over time. So I was worried about finding something that would be as good or as near good quality as that, and I think I found it in this LG monitor. I'm not going to read the model number out loud because it's a bunch of letters and numbers, but the full thing can be found linked in the show notes over at update.show. It's a 27-inch 4K monitor, retails for $599 USD, and it integrates very nicely with Mac OS. And the things that I've been very proud of it about in the couple days that I've been using it is that it just pops with the colors as I had expected them to, and the black levels are decent enough with it being a IPS black display that allows the gaming aspects of RuneScape, in particular areas like and whatnot, to really just show and look very, very nice. And I needed to underscore that this was probably one of the things I was most concerned about moving off the iMac with, is finding a display that would be nearly as good as that, and I think I found that. I don't know that you would want to use this for fast FPS-based gaming, but if you're doing things like we do here with the podcast, video editing, audio editing, RuneScape, and programming, in my case, this monitor will definitely do what it needs to do. The only thing I'm looking for at this point still is a set of speakers, but I have always been very happy with LG displays, whether they be in a monitor like this or even in the TV. So that's the pick of the week for me here.
Yeah, and great backup service from the company too.
Oh yeah, and you used to. I don't know if you want to share a bit of your professional background in terms of what your experiences were with this.
Yeah.
LG.
Well, as many people know that I managed an electronics goods store for a lot of years, and LG were always one of the best in their backup service. I mean, Sony of the 90s were terrible, and these days Samsung's taken over that mantle. But LG, I think I told you the story that we had a customer whose TV was almost 4 years old and the screen just went completely. They just swapped it straight over, even though it had a 12-month warranty. You had a similar experience where they just swapped the panel out for you. They've always been very good at customer service, LG, and the good quality units.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And
my house is full of LG. I've got the 80-inch screen on the wall. I've got the 55-inch in the bedroom.
I should look and see what they do for gaming products, because that might be something interesting to pick up one day for gaming in general. I don't know if they do.
I think a lot of I don't think that their screens. I've never seen below. Most of their screens are 4 or 5 milliseconds. I've only ever seen one that had the 2 millisecond, which was a dedicated gaming monitor that they did. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do these days, because I haven't looked into them for a few years. But
and another thing that's great about this display is it's got the full set of tilt adjustment. You can rotate the display and you can move it up and down as you see fit. Does
it have VESA mount on the back?
Yes, you can plug in whatever kind of arm you want for it.
Very good, because so many monitors these days have gone away from that. So if you want to sort of wall mount on swivel mounts to get it off your desk,
it has a stand that's VESA compatible. So if you want to, you can just press a button and pop it off, and you're good to go.
Yep.
So that is the pick of the week. Well, I think that means it's time to buckle up and move on into League's territory for next week. I don't know that there's anything else left for us to say or do here this week. Anybody have anything else before we go?
Oh, no. Time to get into it.
Yeah.
Just got to continue on with my to-do spreadsheet, which is up to 104 items.
Oh my God!
Day one. These are just going off all the tasks that they've already released to do, but I'm trying to put them in their areas because obviously on there they've just put them. So I'm trying to lock in Lumbridge. Just sit in Lumbridge, get all that done, then move on to sort of Draenor, then over to the Rock, and then get to Anachronia to get that started, and a bunch of quests. But I've got to look at the quests and that and see which ones give just straight XP where it doesn't matter what level you are.
Right, what quests are going to be good. Violet is Blue.
If they give
the Violet
lamps,
is Blue series.
Yeah, but if you get lamps and such, save those.
I don't know what's happening to you, Pern, if there's a fan going or something, but Discord is hard cutting out your voice. I don't know whether that's internet or noise reduction related, so you are kind of getting a bit choppy there, but that's okay because we're about done.
Yep. Oh, good. Sorry about that.
No worries on that. But Bears, anything else from you before we go?
No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited.
All right. Well, it's good having you here. Of course, if you guys want the podcast delivered automatically to you each and every week, update.show/subscribe. We're on all the major podcast listening services out there. Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Spotify, Amazon, and of course YouTube as well at youtube.com/RSBANB. And with that being said, we'll see you guys next week for another episode of RSBANB Update. See you then, everyone. Take care.
Happy Skype and all.
See ya.